Imagine this. One morning, without warning, Earth flips itself inside out. The deep, molten core erupts to the surface. The solid crust is ripped apart and buried beneath oceans of lava. And the skies ignite with fire. The world you knew, cities, forests. Oceans gone in a single moment. This is not an earthquake, not a volcanic eruption, not even a meteor strike. This is planetary inversion, Earth unraveling from the inside, turning itself completely inside out. What would happen to life, to humanity, to the very idea of survival? First the core, right now. Earth's solid inner core and molten outer core sit nearly 3,000 kilometers beneath your feet. They generate the magnetic field that shields us from deadly solar radiation. But if Earth flipped, the core would be exposed like an open wound. Boiling iron and nickel would flood the surface in an instant, turning continents into rivers of liquid metal. Temperatures would surge beyond anything life can. Endure thousands of degrees hotter than any volcano. Skyscrapers would melt, oceans would vaporize, and the atmosphere itself would ignite in a storm of fire. Humanity would end, just diet would vanish, erased in minutes. But the destruction wouldn't stop there, with the crust buried deep inside. Earth's stable surface would be gone, the tectonic plates we live on, the foundation of continents. And oceans would shatter. Instead of mountains and valleys, we'd see endless, shifting seas of magma. Every step would sink into liquid rock, every breath filled with toxic gas. Imagine a world where the ground is fire and the sky is ash. This is what an inside-out Earth would become, a hellscape of molten chaos. And then the magnetic field. Right now, Earth's invisible shield protects us from the sun's deadly radiation. Without it, solar winds would rip into our atmosphere, stripping away the air we breathe. The skies would glow with violent roars, but they wouldn't be beautiful, they would be lethal. Within weeks, radiation would bake the surface, mutating or destroying whatever scraps of life managed to survive the initial firestorm. But let's push deeper. If Earth turned inside out, gravity itself would twist the planet into a nightmare. The mass of the core is denser than the crust. Bringing it to the surface would destabilize the planet's balance, warping its spin, its tilt, even its orbit around the sun. Days and nights might vanish, replaced by chaotic rotations. Winters could last years, summers could sear continents in weeks. Earth's once stable rhythm would collapse into chaos. Now imagine the oceans. The crust holds the basins that cradle our seas. Flip the Earth, and those basins vanish. Water would boil, then fall as superheated storms. Then boil again until nothing but steam filled the skies. Rain would no longer be water, it would be acid, falling through a poisoned atmosphere onto rivers of glowing metal. The blue planet would be no more. And yet, what about life? Could anything survive such madness? On the surface, no. Humanity would be gone instantly. Animals, plants, even microbes would be wiped away. But deep beneath the chaos, in cracks and shadows, some forms of extremophile life might endure, creatures that thrive on radiation, on heat. On chemicals, instead of sunlight, perhaps they would rise again, rebuilding life on a world remade by fire. If Earth turned inside out, it would be a reset button for evolution, a cleansing of everything we know. But there's another possibility, one even stranger. What if, instead of total destruction, an inside-out Earth stabilized into a new form? Imagine continents of metal glowing red, oceans of lava stretching to the horizon, skies filled with storms of lightning and ash. Humanity, if it somehow survived underground bunkers or space stations, would face the hardest choice in history: to adapt to this alien planet or to abandon it forever. Colonies on the Moon or Mars would no longer be optional. They would be the last outposts of our species, and yet, even in this chaos, one haunting thought remains. What would we learn? If Earth's core were exposed, we'd finally see the secrets buried beneath us, the birthplace of the magnetic field, the engine of plate tectonics, the raw forces that shape continents and oceans. For a brief, catastrophic moment, humanity would glimpse the true heart of our world, and then we'd be gone. So, what if Earth turned inside out? Civilization would vanish in minutes. The oceans would boil. The skies would burn. The land would dissolve into fire. Life as we know it would end. And yet, in that fiery rebirth, a new Earth might rise, alien, hostile, but alive in its own way. The truth is, our planet survives because it is balanced core below. Crust above, shielded and stable. Flip that order, and Earth becomes unrecognizable. A nightmare world where survival is impossible. But maybe that's the real lesson. We live not on a fragile Earth, but on a miracle. A planet balanced so perfectly that life can exist. And if that balance were ever broken, if Earth ever turned inside out, we'd learn just how thin the line is between paradise and hell.